Hi everybody, it's McDonald here. Looking at the Russell and just starting with a bit of a recap of what I said last week. So, looking at the daily chart, I identified these support and resistance levels and said I'd be looking to trade bounces off these levels as long as price remained above that level. There was a good bounce on the first day of the week, so price came down, touched that level, and then had a good rally back up to 800 where it's found resistance for the rest of the week. So there was one thing that happened, and those support and resistance levels there, in fact, support as long as price remains above that, still holds true. There's some really good support down there around that zone. And I'll continue to look to trade any bounces off that level as long as price is above it, and keeping an eye on any potential short trades at that level if price breaks down below it. Another thing I said was based on the weekly chart that if price broke up through last week's high, then it would be a bullish sign, and exactly that has happened. So we've put in another higher low here, and we've broken up through the high of that, confirming the higher low, and that candle actually looks quite bullish. Coming to the monthly chart, I've been talking about this for a long time, saying if price pulls back into these averages, that'll be a sensible buy zone. We've pulled back into the 10 period. We've actually showed a slight bounce off it at the moment, and that looks good. I've also identified these levels where if it does break down lower, I think price will stop around about 700 to 735, where price will find support before continuing in the longer term uptrend. So now, all in all, looking at it on the Russell chart, it looks quite bullish. But I don't like to look at anything in isolation. That's why I like to go and look at the other major cash indices as well. So remember this weekly chart here on the Russell, bullish candle followed by another bullish candle breaking up through the high. Let's come and have a look at the Dow, because the Dow was in a similar situation. We had a bullish candle, but what has happened here? We've got a very bearish candle. So let's maximize the weekly chart. We're still reasonably bullish in the longer term here, but it's just not a good sign that we had a bullish candle. We broke up through the high. We're at 12,000. A good strong market should have continued up, and we didn't. This is a sign for caution on the Russell as well. Now, it hasn't broken down through the low of that weekly candle yet, so there's still a chance for redemption here where the Dow could break back up. However, it's not looking anywhere near as good. I'll be watching this during the week, and really what we're looking for on this, even if we come down to a daily chart on the Dow, is seeing if price can now turn bullish again before breaking these lows. We'll be looking to see if price can put in what would be really a traditional double bottom type pattern, but I want to see price turning bullish, probably a small green candle, break up through it before we can break down through these previous lows. That will also result in a bullish candle for this week, which will completely invalidate last week's bearish candle. So keeping an eye on that to see what will happen, but at the moment we have to be quite cautious because it looks bearish. Equally here on the S&P, we had a bullish candle, we broke up through the high of it, a good strong market should have continued up. We're right in the right position to do that based on the monthly chart, everything looking good. However, we didn't. We've actually broken up and come right back down. Like the Dow though, we haven't broken down through the lows yet, so I won't be too concerned until we do, but certainly these other indices are showing reason to be cautious on the Russell. Coming right down to the NASDAQ, this is a slightly more bullish candle. It's not completely bearish, it's actually the second most bullish in terms of the Russell being quite bullish and this one being still a green candle, is what I mean. The other two, the Dow and the S&P, closed quite bearish, whereas the NASDAQ closed reasonable and the Russell's actually closed quite strong. So there's a bit of a mixed message out here, but all in all, we are on all of them in the right position on the monthly chart for a turnaround and a bounce back up. So coming and looking at this on the Russell and how are we going to have trading opportunities this week, I remain cautiously bullish. By cautiously, I mean I haven't got confirmation across a range of markets and a range of different products, but I do have it across a range of time frames on this one chart. I'm cautious because I don't have it backed up by the other charts. But I'm very bullish on the monthly chart, and in the longer term, I will remain bullish for quite some time. I see no reason to change that stance. The weekly chart looks strong in isolation, but I'm very cautious based on other markets. I'll be watching these weekly lows on all of the charts, i.e. the low of last week, to see if price breaks down through that. If it does, it's quite bearish. But I'll be watching the daily charts really now for signs of a turnaround. This is where we're going to see it first, in terms of we are in fact downtrending on this daily chart, but we've got major support down here. I'll be looking for signs of a turnaround. Any move down towards these levels again, 770 to kind of 765, is going to be a great buying opportunity. It will I'll look for reasons to be buying at those levels, but equally if we do fail and if the markets do sell off, this is also going to provide a great place, the ideal place to be shorting. In the ideal entry for me, it could be a breakdown through those lows, but I doubt I'll do that. More than likely it'll be a breakdown through, then a retest from the downside. So break below that level, then a retest of that level could provide some great shorting opportunities if we break down. But as I'm saying, for now, I'll remain cautiously bullish. As long as we're above that level, I'll look to buy bounces of that level and I'll be looking to see if price can continue on up. It's really going to depend on what happens now in the broader market, and whether we can put in some higher lows in the daily charts and really start to change the trend. Then we'll be starting to look very, very positive for the longer term, for a bull run back up through these highs. Until then, let's see what happens, and like there's a famous saying in trading, trade what you see, not what you think. We want to be trading what the charts tell us. At the moment, the charts are slightly bullish, not massively bullish, but slightly bullish, and we'll be looking to see if we can start to get more towards that really bullish scenario of having all of the major indices telling us the same thing. Let's see how it looks next week. Happy trading all.